Alright, I think we are live. Hello everybody. Hi, I'm Warren Flax. This is my mother Dee Silver, and thanks for joining us once again. Another Silver Brush Limited Facebook Live session. We heard you, and so now we have this new fancy microphone. So if you can't hear us, let us know with the comments, because we can move it a little bit closer. Obviously there's a lot going on. We've got boiling water, we've got paint, so I don't want my mom to get hurt or anything, but if we can move the microphone a little bit closer if that's necessary. But hopefully this fancy new radio microphone should pick us up and you can hear us. Okay, so we've got some exciting stuff to talk about today. We're going to do a lot of fun things. I had to make a list because we have so much going on here for 45 minutes. First of all, as you know, we're going to be giving away brushes, as I promised you last time a couple weeks ago. We've got 3 giveaways today. Okay, so whether you're in the United States, whether you're in India, whether you're in Singapore, wherever you are, we've had winners all over the world. Everybody's eligible. So just get in the chat room, participate, and we'll be picking 3 winners today. We've got 2 great sets. The Silver White, which is my mom's going to show, outstanding watercolor brush. And we've got the SW1520 set and an SW1521 set. So one is a 3-brush set, one is a 4-brush set. And then we have this great Tuscany case. So we're going to give you this brush case to some lucky winner as well. So that's going to be fun, and we'll do that in about 40 minutes. My mom's going to go over tips and tricks today, because we know everybody's always interested in different techniques, different things you can do to take care of your brushes, different things you can do to make sure the brushes last longer. So we're going to make sure we take care of that. And then we have some unique shapes that we want to work with today. Specifically going to be in water-based media, watercolor, and what else do you have there? Some inks?
So I have
gouache?
watercolor. Let me just bring out my little palette here.
Okay.
So I have watercolor, I have gouache, I have fluid acrylic, I have ink, and I also bought some walnut ink. So I know walnut ink is very popular today, so we'll be playing with that as well.
Awesome. And then we also have some new silver brush products that we're going to debut today to show you. Excited to do that. And then we'll wrap it up with our giveaway. So let me get out of the way and introduce you to the brush lady. So for those of you that this is the first time you're seeing, this lady to my right, Deirdre Silver, started Silver Brush Limited in 1990. She was in the art material industry for about 13 years before that. She's an expert and been trained by master brush makers all around the world for decades now. And at this point, she's a sought-after speaker around the world on the topic of artist brushes in particular. Some of the finest artists in the world, some of the most famous artists in the world, come to Dee Silver to get their brushes made and to get advice from her on specific brush use. So you're getting really, really top expert training here today. So with that, Mom, I will let you go.
Thank you very much. Please let us know if you can hear me better. I know it's been a problem in the past, but I think what Warren did here with getting this speaker is really terrific. I thought it'd be a little one over here, but this is just as good. It really is. So today we're going to go through 3 different categories. We're going to do some tips and tricks. We're going to do brush shapes, and also intermixed. I'm going to show you a couple of new products that we're coming out with very, very close to the end of the year. So I'm excited about it. I hope you'll be excited about it too. They're really some terrific products. So what we're going to start off with today is a tip and trick. So I think you've seen me do this before. If you haven't, and you're just tuning in for the first time, then I'm glad I'm giving you the opportunity to see this. What I'm doing today is I'm showing you how to knife a brush. That's what this is called. When you start a new brush, you should always take, this is just the back of a little plastic butter knife. That's all this is. It's a plastic butter knife. And I'm just going through the brush to see if there is any loose hair. Why am I doing that? Because tell me if you haven't found this to be true, that when you're painting and you start a painting and suddenly hair comes out of the brush and you have to find a tweezer and pull the hair out. How very annoying is that? So if you do this before you start using the brush, I can promise you that you won't have that problem. Very lightly with, again, the back of the butter knife, you want to pull on the hair. It's especially true with goat hair because it's very, very soft and it's hard to capture everything in the ferrule itself. So that's the black goat hair, and here's white goat hair. and I'm just knifing it. Now you can do this with every single brush that you buy, very gently. You're not going to pull the hair out, but you want to get any loose hair that's there, so you don't have that annoying little problem with hair going into your painting. So let's start off. Look at that, I have a couple of hairs right there. So let's start off looking at some really fun shapes. Since we've grown so much, I've come out with lots and lots of different shapes. I thought I'd start out today with the Dagger Striper. We have Dagger Striper in a number of different series, and one of this series, of course, is our wonderful, wonderful Black Velvet series. That is a very, very soft material. It's a combination of squirrel as well as synthetic fiber. And for our demonstration, actually, Kira, and you've all heard us talk about Kira. Watch the light. Watch the light more. Okay. You've seen, this is a stroke sheet that Kira did for us with the Black Velvet Dagger Striper. So here it is, nice stroke sheet. And what we can do is do some very pretty, I'm going to do this with watercolor, but so some of those lovely strokes that you like to create, you can do with Black Velvet. There's nothing that holds actually more moisture than the Black Velvet series. It's a combination, as I said, of squirrel and synthetic fiber. It's our own unique original formula, and there is nothing else like it on the market. So this is the stroke, the Dagger with Black Velvet series. Then I'm also going to show you the Dagger with, put that over here, with our Ruby Satin. Now that's an entirely different feel. It really is. It's an entirely different feel, much stiffer than the Black Velvet. But if you're using acrylic, if you're using something thicker like fluid acrylic, you might love the Ruby Satin Dagger Striper. And that too, I'm going to put in a little bit of water. And this I'm going to use the fluid acrylics, because one thing about fluid acrylics, it really adheres to the filament, and you can get beautiful, look at that, beautiful strokes on that. And I wonder if you guys can see that. I hope you can. And that's our Dagger Striper with Ruby Satin. Look at that beautiful, wonderful strokes. The great thing about the Dagger that I love so much is that it can also give you some other kinds of strokes. So here I'm making lines with it. You can do petals. You can do shore, still life paintings. And that's our wonderful Dagger Striper. What's great, what I love about the Ruby Satin is that it always holds its shape. It goes right back to its original shape. And with Black Velvet, you can see here it is. It's wet, went right back to its original shape. Again, I'll do that again for you. Get a little tip over there, and here you are. That's our Black Velvet, and that's the Dagger shape.
And what media is that?
I'm using watercolor for the Black Velvet. I would also be able to use it with ink. I have some ink over here. That's the variety of different things that you can do with Black Velvet, and that holds ink like a sponge. It really does. And the other thing that I would use Black Velvet for, which makes it very, very versatile, I would also use it for Walnut Ink. Now, Walnut Ink is something I've just started playing around with. I've just got my first bottle on that, and I think it's a great medium. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So you can get, that sepia tone that we like to do paintings with for pictures and stuff like that. But look how beautifully that goes on the surface. I like the Walnut Ink because it has a little bit of texture to it, but not a lot. And so you're not fighting the brush. Very much like a little bit thicker watercolor, yet a little bit thinner fluid acrylic. Very nice, very nice product. Brand new for me. Maybe all of you have used it before, but I find it really very, very interesting.
Now, question
Sure.
From Chris Cunningham. The Ruby Satin Dagger, you were not using in watercolor, right?
No, I was actually using that in fluid acrylic, but I could also use the Dagger for the Ruby Satin in the Walnut Ink. I feel
but not watercolor, right? Because it's too stiff.
You could use it for watercolor, but I don't think you're going to get the stroke that you want for that. I think it's going to be a little bit more It's not going to give you. Although here you go. I'm
Talking
using.
about the ruby satin.
This is ruby satin in watercolor, and there you have it. But you see, I think it runs out of ink, paint a little bit sooner. It doesn't have quite the softness that you get with black velvet. And I really think black velvet is
natural.
Oh, golden natural. I don't have a Dagger in golden natural. That's why that's not here. So with with black velvet.
Sorry, I'm throwing you off.
Yeah.
We can get to that.
Okay, so this is the silver silk. We have daggers with that too, and I've got two sizes here. This is the 1/4 inch, and this is the half. pardon me, the 1/2 inch in the silver silk, and that's just wonderful for something like gouache, which is what this is. Anything with a little bit of tackiness. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful for gouache? That's what this is, gouache. And then I'm also going to use it for ink. This is the Dagger Striper silver silk in ink, and we've got nice smooth sailing with that as well. And the other medium I'm going to use I'm still using just Dagger Striper. That's what this is all about. I'm going to use the Walnut Ink for that as well, and I think that's just a humdinger for the silver silk for Walnut Ink as well. Remember, it's a new medium for me. So you probably are much more familiar with the medium than I am, but I really do like the way it stays on the silver silk series, and it really does absorb, and it does a very, very nice job coming off of the brush.
I had a question there,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of good questions. One of them was, can the brushes that are used for acrylic, can they also be used for watercolor?
Yes, they absolutely can be. I would never recommend anything in oil color and water-based, but if you're using it in acrylic, you absolutely can use it in watercolor. Just remember that, like the ruby satin that I showed you, it's going to be a thicker base, and it's going to be a little heavier. So you could use it for fluid acrylics, you could use it for gouache, you could use it for any kind of acrylic, heavy-bodied and regular acrylics. Watercolors, you can use it, but I think there are better brushes for watercolors, to be honest. I think our black velvet is certainly a much extraordinary brush for watercolors, as well as our golden natural. And that's this is a couple of black velvet series right here. And we also, of course, have the golden natural. That's what I was looking for. And there's a golden natural right there, and I have that round, and we have it in angles and all of that. So I thought I would bring you to another brush. But let's talk about another tip and another trick, okay? Because taking care of your brushes is probably one of the most asked about functions of what I do. People ask me about taking care of brushes all day long, and it's a very important question. So one of the things that you do when you get a new brush, and I think I just took it off of here. When you get a new brush, I think I put it outside, it has a cap on it. It has a cap on a new brush. What I want you to do is take that cap and throw it away. Just throw it away. Here it is. I brought a really big black velvet brush in. This is an original black velvet brush, the way brushes should be made. And it comes with a cap. Now, why do we have a cap on it? This is just packing material. This is from the factory floor to your door. So you should take that plastic cap off when you get it to your home and throw it away. It has no other function, okay? Let's make sure you hear me one more time. Take the plastic cap and throw it away. It is not good to store your brushes with the plastic cap on them. A lot of people have said to me, I've had a lot of problems putting the plastic cap on once I'm finished using the brush. The answer is you should never do that. You should always let a brush air dry. That's what the best thing is for a brush. So I'm going to put it in over here because this is a brand new brush, and of course we want to sell it. But when you get that home, make sure you throw away the plastic cap. Okay? That's a tip for you.
Let me jump in here real quick. We had a couple of questions about, we have a program called the Silver Brush Educators, and thank you for those of you that have expressed some interest in it. This is a program that we have started about 1.5 years ago that is specifically for professional working artists who teach hundreds of students a year. So if you are a teacher, and I realize in the current environment in the world with the virus, many live classes have changed, and they're not taking place. But if in a typical year you are someone who teaches at least 200 or 300 students a year in your marketplace or online, then please reach out to us, send us a direct message if you're interested in the Silver Brush Educator Program. But again, it's only for professional working teachers, and we love you. It's a great program. We have over 80 around the world now, and we are accepting more applications if you're interested. But again, it's only for professional working teachers. So just send us a direct message if you're interested. Thank you.
Okay, so the next tip I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you this throughout my talk today, is what do you do when you have a brush that looks like this? Now, the most common way to have a brush that look like this, with the hair flying all over the place, is when somebody tries to jam a cap back on the head of the brush, and that really can destroy the brush. And you feel so abandoned by the brush. You say, "Oh, look what happened here." Okay, so what I have here, obviously, is a pot of boiling hot water. It is very hot, and it's making the office hot, so I'm going to turn it off. And what I'm going to do, and some of you have seen me do this already. It's we don't really call it a miracle. It's just the best thing to do. So what I have here is 2 blended series. So there's animal hair and synthetic fiber in the golden natural. Wonderful animal hair. That's why it's so great and absorbing color. And this is the black velvet. Now, can you imagine if you got up in the morning and you show your black velvet brush look like that? You'd be really aggravated with yourself. But we're going to fix it right now. So this is a pot of boiling hot water. And look at the brush. It relaxes the hair. It has it go down to its original shape, and you're all ready to go together. Want me to do it again? Okay, I do it so quickly that some people are very stunned by that. So that is the Dagger striper. See, it's just perfect. So the hair is not going anyplace. You see that? And so let's do it again. This is Golden Natural. Again, it's a blended series. I also have another Golden Natural. I have a synthetic. Let me show you a synthetic as well. And this is the Golden Natural. I'm relaxing the hair with the boiling hot water and getting it to go right back to its original shape. There it is. Notice I didn't keep it in there very long. I don't think I even got it in there for 30 seconds, maybe like 15, 20 seconds, and it goes back to its original shape. That's because it's really, really hot. You probably don't have a pot like this. You probably have a microwave oven. Put a coffee mug filled with water into the microwave oven for about 2 minutes. That makes it really hot, and do exactly the same thing. Very, very quick. You're not stirring soup or anything like that. You want to just relax the hair, and it'll go back into its original shape. Notice how really badly damaged it was as well. So, I mean, that gives you an idea how great this works. Let me show you this one. This is 100% synthetic. This is our ruby satin. Same thing. A little bit longer, because this one was a little more damaged. So what we want to do is make sure we protect the edges on these brushes so that we always have a chisel edge and a sharp round. And there we are. You can go right back and start painting with this brush. And there you have it. Okay? Now if you'd like, I can show you. I'm going to use this with a little bit of fluid acrylic. And this is the ruby satin you saw that had hair flying all over the place. And it works just beautifully. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-cost fix. And you can go right back and paint with these brushes. One of the things that I really have great respect for is your money, because some of us didn't come in with a lot of money into anything, and that some of us had to work for a living. Most of us have to do that. So I really appreciate it.
Inga asked, is it bad to leave your brushes standing upwards?
Yes, it is. Oh, you notice how I always put them like this? I wait until they're dry. They absolutely have to dry. I put them in the kitchen when I'm done demonstrating, and I always keep them like this. I prefer they were like this so the moisture goes down. If you want to do it this is another tip, if you want to do a better job, you want the hair to go down, and that's how you do it. Just with another brush. I use ashtrays, anything to get that head to go down so the moisture flows out. Remember, what hurts your brush the most? What really gives you the most aggravation? Well, it's when you get paint inside the ferrule, right? You don't like that because then the hair starts going all over the place. right? So what you want to do is loosen that paint that's in the ferrule, go over here, and you'll start seeing it melt if you have it for a long time. You got a lot of problems. Use a lint-free cloth, and you'll get the paint right out of there. That's if the paint is in the ferrule up to a year. If it's over a year, all bets are off. Just because of the very nature of paint, it just gets in there and you can't get it off. But if it's up to a year and you've got paint in the ferrule, try the boiling hot water method. I promise you it will probably work for you. Okay, so one more. This is 100% natural hair. This is a Kolinsky brush. As a matter of fact, it's a beautiful Kolinsky brush. And I'm going to do the same exact thing. We're going to loosen it up, which is that's all that boiling water does. Again, what is this? Maybe 15, 20 seconds. And there you have a beautiful Kolinsky brush ready to paint in watercolor any way you want. Okay? This is a beautiful silver Kolinsky round. Absolutely an incredible brush. Some of you have had Kolinsky brushes longer than I'm in business, right? You've been painting with it so long. They're remarkable in their longevity and in the usage.
So
it really is marvelous.
asking, okay, so after I've dried the brush, do I still need to keep them lying flat?
Once they're completely dry, you can put them in your brush pile over here. That's what I do. I let them dry overnight, and then I put them in my brush rack that I keep in my office. And they're just fine. But make sure they're dry. Feel it. Just make sure they're dry. The one brush you're going to have difficulty with because it holds so much water and it's so thirsty is the black velvet. The black velvet's always going to be the last one to dry. It's the nature of the hair itself. And so, just expect in the morning if you come in or you come back to your studio, it's still damp. You still have to keep it flat. Remember, nothing destroys a handle faster than moisture getting into the handle. So people that leave their brushes overnight in fluid, they're asking for disaster. They really are. And it really depends also on how the brush is made. If it's made well, like ours are, where you have a triple epoxy barrier within the ferrule, you're going to have the least amount of damage to the handle with ours. But even so, if you do it time and time again, you can very much have a cracking handle. And one of the things that people dislike intensely is cracked handles, and we understand that. So you're the one that has to take care of your brushes. Okay? And just one more, because this is such a sad little sack. This is the same goat hair brush as this. Notice this one's all over the place. And same thing, we're going to relax the hair. We'll take it out. And here we are. We're right back again. I've used this many, many times. You can see the color on the head, and it's all back together. Once it dries, it'll fluff out like this one, and there you have it. That's the goat hair mop.
How often do you suggest cleaning the brushes with a special brush cleaner?
Well, it depends on the medium you're using. Once you use it with some of these different colors and you're having trouble getting it cleaned out, I would suggest you use the cleaner. If you're doing well just cleaning it with water or soap and water, then you don't have to do it that often. But it really depends on how much time you take to clean up your brushes, how much time you give it to dry, and the very medium that you're using. That's going to be the criteria. So you don't like that answer, I understand, because it's a decision you have to make. But I would say probably, every few times that you use the brush, go back and use a really thorough cleaner. Some people actually use a cleaner after every use. It's good for whatever you feel it is. But do clean it very thoroughly periodically so that you get any residual paint out of the brush.
Question from Charlene. How do you fix brushes that have been ruined by masking fluid?
Good luck. Okay, so I would try the boiling hot water method. How long, it depends on how long you've had the masking fluid on it. Sometimes.
Her follow-up question is, how do I prevent the brushes from being ruined by masking fluid in the first place?
Clean it very quickly after you use it. Clean it immediately because it's very gummy. That's a very gummy substance, and you really have to clean it immediately. So I would take a cloth and pull that out as much as you can immediately. Get a little bit of hot water and just pull it that masking fluid out as quickly as you can, because it's very gummy. And I've used it and I've had some difficulty myself. So what I've put together is using it very, very quickly, and it will come out. It really will come out. It certainly will come out in the boiling hot water method. I promise you that.
Jenny Lopez Flores asking, sometimes my watercolors stick on the neck of my black velvet so much. What's the best way to remove it?
Well,
Should I use soap?
what's happened here, and I think what you mean is that you get a buildup of paint over here. Am I correct? Yes.
I mean, we can see if she comes in a follow-up. But
Okay.
She says neck, I'm assuming the ferrule.
Yeah. So what's happened is you're using it very, very hard, and you're pushing the paint up into the ferrule on top. So that does happen to most people. It certainly happens a great deal in oil painting brushes because it's such a thick paint and people are busy just painting along and they don't realize how much buildup they have here. Once again, I would go into the boiling hot water method and get it out. Just try and get it out as much as you possibly can. And with brushes, the sooner you get the color out of the ferrule, the soonest you get it out, that's how quickly it will respond. If you leave it for months and months, it has a chance to dry in there. All bets are off. I don't know if you can get the paint out of there. It really depends on the paint itself. So the best thing you can do is when you do have buildup of paint in the ferrule, clean it out. My boiling hot water method, I go down to about here on the ferrule, and I really work hard to keep it very, very clean. Nothing destroys a brush's performance more than putting in color into the ferrule. Okay, this is our black velvet. This is original black velvet oval wash, and this is another shape that we're excited with. But I thought we'd take a little pause, and I'd like to show you some new things that are coming out. Okay, what's new is we now have 4 sizes in our little silver brush, silver silk mop brushes. This is the new package that will be out around Thanksgiving. And these are 4 little brushes. I think the set is around $20 US retail. And do look for it. It's called Silver Silk. And it is a soft and blending brushes. 4 brushes are just a wonderful soft feel for it. Okay. These are goat hair. And what I love so much about them is the small amount of color that it's actually going to use on the filament itself. So look for that around Thanksgiving, and those are 4 little brushes.
United States Thanksgiving, that's in late November.
Late November, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right.
It's okay.
Okay. Or the beginning of December. I'm pretty sure we'll have them out then. We're actually starting to have them out now in the old sets, but this is the new set. It's very beautiful. And all of the artwork, by the way, was...
Stephen Tiho just commented, the new package is awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad that you like it. And this isn't even one of the great ones. We have even better than this.
This was pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. All of the artwork that you're going to see on our new packages were done with silver brushes. I think that's very important for you to know. All right?
Michelle King is asking, what media do you recommend for the silver silk?
Silver silk, I would definitely use. Now, there's 2 different types of silver silk. Okay, this is the goat hair, and the goat hair you could put in oils, acrylics, watercolor. It doesn't really matter.
Or encaustics.
Oh, encaustics too. Warren's right. Yeah, encaustics. So if you're doing a dramatic painting and you need something small, these are wonderful for encaustics. It's goat hair. And that's the new package. One of the things I did want to say about the new package, it has the mediums behind the header over here, so you know exactly where you can use these particular brushes. And every package has that information. Okay, what was the other question? Of course, I forgot what the other question.
The media that the silver silk are good for. So you mentioned just the one specific subset of silver silk, which is the goat hair.
Right.
But the majority of the line is this particular synthetic.
That is true. And this is the silver silk is a specially designed synthetic fiber that it took me 2 years to work on this fiber. So that is in there, the demonstration. You can use silver silk in anything that has a little bit of thickness. So I can use it I'm going to use it here in gouache. This is in gouache. Works beautifully in gouache if I got some moisture on there. And this is the silver silk. So this is something called a soft curve. So what you get is a straight shape on one side, and you get a curve on the other. Remember, this is also a lecture about different shapes of brushes. So I love this brush. Isn't that something? So this one, again, I'm pretty good at doing curves, but you can also use it for lines of any kind. Silver silk you can use in gouache. You can use it in acrylics. You could use it, what I really love it for is fluid acrylics. This is fluid acrylics, and it's a rare brush that really will do a fabulous job in fluid acrylics. And boy, oh boy, there is nothing better than silver silk in fluid acrylics. I know many of you love it today, and I don't blame you. I love it too. I think it's a fabulous medium, and I've used a number of different brands. We all have our favorites, but I love fluid acrylics. And this silver silk is the tops for fluid acrylics. So let me show you the difference between our filament for synthetic and for silver silk. So what makes it different? The first thing that I'm going to show you over here is this is the way many of my competition make a synthetic fiber. Notice that they're all exactly the same size. What happens if all of the synthetic fibers are exactly the same size? You're going to have puddling. You're going to have really annoying puddling. So when you put your brush down here, all the paint is going to come out because there's no friction to hold the moisture on the filament itself. So what we do at Silver Brush is I come out with either 8 to 10 different size filament so that you have marvelous friction that's going to hold the color on the filament itself. That it just makes us so unique, I can't even tell you. Our silver white is like that. Of course, our Bristolon is like that. We have a number of different brushes that we use that have the different size filament. All of our synthetics do. But what makes silver silk so different from all the other synthetics that are on the market today is the grooves that we put on the filament itself. So normally a synthetic is just extruded plastic. Well, we did something different, and it took me more than 2 years to figure it out. We actually put a groove around each one of the filaments, so that's why it's so fantastic at holding fluid acrylics. That's a very light, tacky medium. So what you need is something that has a little bit more grab to it, and that's what silver silk is. So you will see with any of our silver silk brushes, which I have to just find another. This one I absolutely adore. This is called our Ultra Round. This is a silver silk. I'm going to put some fluid in there, and I'm going to put that in our fluid acrylics. And because of the very long tip on the Ultra Round, you're going to be able to do a very, 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 very long stroke. What is this good for? Well, of course it's good for flowers, and of course it's good for anything where you really need to hold a lot of paint and keep on painting. It's great for signature. It's great for, landscaping. It's great for still life. It's great for any kind of medium that you're going to be doing. But keep in mind that silver silk is different and better than most other synthetic fibers. Even here at Silver Brush, it's certainly better than anything I've seen come out of my competition because it is just an extraordinary type of filament. So I'm going to wash that up. We'll see if you have any questions about silver silk.
Well, there's so many questions. I apologize. We can't get to them all, everybody. You guys are just asking great questions.
And by the way, can you hear me better with this nice speaker?
Great on the sound.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you
great.
can speak.
And I don't have to yell.
Yeah, exactly. So we're apologize that we can't get to all the questions. We're really trying. You guys are really, really doing great.
Okay. Let's see. Are we moving on? Do we have questions, or do we want to do?
Go ahead and go.
Okay. So my next topic is we have an interesting filament here. This is our grass comb. This is a filbert grass comb. We have two of those in our line. This is the ruby satin, and this is the crystal. You may not have heard me talk too much about crystal. But what's nice about this is that it has grooves on the tip so that you can do some very nice grass effects. You can also do it for your hair and beards and things like that. You want to show that to the folks? Okay, that's the crystal as well as the ruby satin. See that?
Grass comb shape.
Grass comb. That's a filbert grass comb, and the meaning of filbert means that it goes in on either side over here. So that's very popular with people that are doing portraiture and faces and things like that. So let's do this. Now I'm going to be doing, again, I'm going to be using the fluid acrylic. You can tell the fluid acrylic because it's the green. And so here we have some great grass comb. And if, Warren, you want to bring that close so people can see the grass effect. And you're going to be making holiday gifts and things like that. You're going to be making little Santas and things like that. What a great brush for Santa's beard, don't you think? I love this. I also love it for landscapes, beautiful grasses, and there you go. Now I have the same thing with our golden, this is our crystal series. This is a golden Taklon series, and I'm going to use that too. I could use the crystal in watercolor, which I'm going to use. And that too, you get a wonderful grass feel. Now this is watercolor. This is not fluid acrylic. But you see you can get a very nice effect with the with the crystal with watercolor. And crystal is a very unique filament because it holds so much color. And I'm also going to use that for ink. So some of you really love to paint with ink. I find it a little bit difficult for me, but you absolutely can use it in ink, which is what this is. I need a darker color so you can see that better. The other thing I think that will work very well with this is walnut ink. And I really have to change this paper. We have to get another one. And as usual, I make a mess. That's why I wear the same dirty clothes, which I do wash, by the way, with each demonstration because I make such a mess out of everything. And this is walnut ink. Notice how I can get the grass effect with the walnut ink as well.
And that's with the crystal.
This is with crystal, that is correct. Doesn't take a lot to paint with walnut ink. That probably is one of the great selling features of walnut ink because it really lasts. I'm very impressed.
Asking, could you also use these brushes for acrylic without water?
Yes. Yes, you can. Do I have any acrylic here? I do not. I only have the fluid acrylic here, which I will use, and this is the fluid acrylic.
And does the grass comb come in any smaller sizes?
Yes, they do. They come in lots of small sizes. They come in, I believe, starts about 1/4 inch. No, actually, I just didn't tell you the truth. The Ruby Satin starts at 1/8 inch, I believe. Very, very small. We created that for an artist by the name of Peggy Harris. And if you go online, you'll see that Peggy Harris is responsible for some of the most beautiful, beautiful little animals. She is a leader in her own field with painting little animals. And as a matter of fact, on our new sets, we're going to be using all of Peggy Harris's paintings for our Ultra Mini series so that people can see what magnificent artwork you can do with Ultra Mini brushes. And Peggy has created many beautiful paintings with Ultra Mini brushes, as well as with our Ruby Satin and the very small sizes because all of her animals are very little, and it's just a beautiful look. So Ruby Satin does come in smaller size in the grass comb. All right, let's show you another new product that we're coming out with. Notice how filthy I'm getting. So all of you are in good company if you make yourself dirty. Okay, so we've had our scrubber series in our line for at least 10 years. And so what we've learned is these are our scrubber sets. We still have these some of these left, but we're discontinuing them because we're coming out with new scrubber brushes, and we're very excited about this. We are coming out with new scrubber brushes that you will be able to buy individually. This is a Deerfoot Stippler. We never had it in Deerfoot Stippler before. That means that you get an angular shape. Notice that angular shape on that so that you can just stencil and pull down on the color. I love that. We also going to have it, and this is a very stiff synthetic fiber. It really is. It's a very stiff synthetic fiber. So you will really be able to scrub into your whatever surface you're working. So if you're working on furniture, if you're working on tin, if you're working on bricks, if you're working on wood of any kind, and of course canvas and also paper, you will be able to use our new scrubber brushes. We also going to come out with it in oval shape. We've got a couple of different sizes in the oval shape. I think it's 3 sizes. and we also are going to have it in this dome shape, where you'll be able to make nice little swirls with it, like clouds and smudges. A lot of people like to do smudges with that as well. So this is our angular scrubber. This is I'm calling this we can use these for buttons, bows, and ribbon. And that's what this is for. You can use this as a ribbon brush. So this is our new scrubbers. These will be out not that long. I think by the beginning of October, mid-October, something like that. And you can ask for our new scrubber brushes. That's the 1600 series. Very excited about that because that's brand new, and we do expect that to be out sometime in the middle of October. Okay, let's go back to some more shapes. I'm always excited to talk about more shapes for different brushes.
Do one more.
Sure. Just one more? Okay.
Just 5 minutes left.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk about angular brushes also. We have a very large series of angular brushes. I think I only have 2 of them here. Cat's tongues I was talking to you about last time. We have angular brushes. This is a little ultra mini brush. We also have this in an angular shape, but this is our new Bristle-On short handle in angular shape. Why is this different? Because it's very, very heavy. It's a very, very thick line, and what you can do with this is use this in any kind of acrylic. You can use it in oil color, and you'll get a nice thick stroke on it, and will move the color on the surface. What's important that you have to know with all synthetic brushes, you're to clean it up with an odorless solvent that you buy in an art supply store. Don't go to a big box store to buy odorless solvent. I know it's cheaper. I'm sure it's cheaper, but it's just not good. What happens with the stuff you buy at the big box store, it's if you put this filament, anybody's synthetic, into turpentine of any kind or any kind of harsh spirit, it starts to melt the filament. It starts to melt the filament, and once it starts to curl, there is almost nothing we can do to get that curl out of it because it's melted into that shape. I've tried boiling hot water method for years. It does not work. So you want to make sure you buy an odorless solvent at the art supply store if you're using synthetic brushes in oil color. Okay? So let's use this. This is our Bristle-On series. I really don't have a heavy-bodied acrylic here, but I do have our fluid acrylic, and it'll work very nicely in that. And it's going to pull the color right over the surface of anything you have. And a lot of times you're looking at a brush and you're saying, okay, now do the job. You wouldn't want to use a heavy-bodied acrylic, say with a goat hair, unless you're wiping it over and you're taking off the gloss. But you need something to pull the color over the surface. So you want to use something like Ruby Satin. You want to use something like our Bristle-On series that really pulls the color right over the surface. And it'll stand up very, very well. Again, if I were using this in oil color, which you absolutely can, odorless solvent. Okay, let's clean that up a little bit. One more tip. I have one more tip and trick today, which I'll go over with you in just a minute. This is our Golden Natural series. Golden Natural is a blend of golden Taklon and animal hair, which makes it ideal for any media. So what media do you think I should use this in? Let's see. I'm going to use this in gouache. Today we're going to be using gouache. I've got a whole different group of different product that I can use this brush in because of the specialty blend, because of the synthetic that's in it, and the natural hair. It will work in oil color. It will work in acrylic color. It'll work in watercolor. Look how beautifully that holds the color. Notice I haven't improved my artistic talent, but I do try my best. So I want to show you something very quickly that Kira did for me. That's our able and trusty associate here. This she did with our triangle brush, and we have several triangle brushes, and we're coming out with actually another one. And this is a triangle brush that she did with a synthetic fiber, and we are going to come out with we have a triangle brush in both our Ruby Satin as well as our Bristle-On series. And look at those pretty strokes she made with that. She can do flowers, lines, anything. That's the one with the do I have any here? I'm talking about something that I don't even have. She must have it out there. But this is our triangle series. Sorry about that. And So we've got lots and lots of different brush shapes that are just ideal for you to play with. Did she say it's here? There it is. Sorry. Here is the triangle brush. Notice that shape. Isn't that something? And we're also looking to bring it out in silver silk, because silver silk is going to be fantastic with fluid acrylic, with gouache. Ruby satin, of course, is perfect for heavier bodied color, like heavy bodied acrylics and regular tube acrylics. So that is going to do a very, very nice job with that. So we've got all kinds of different shapes for you. It is so much fun to be able to show you all of these. Well, I shouldn't show you because it's not quite coming out yet, but this is going to be the triangle from silver silk. See that? That's the triangle from silver silk. It's going to be extremely absorbent. You're going to be able to do all those fun shapes that you love to do with triangles, and I think you're going to enjoy it very, very much. I have to make sure I clean this brush very well. One last tip that I want to give you. One last tip that we do all the time. And this is my black velvet brush. This is a black velvet in a Dagger, and this is the ruby satin in a Dagger. I'm going to take my little continuously used agar. I've spoken about it before, and agar is something I get at the
How do you spell it?
AGAR, and I get it at the Asian grocery market. I've had this same agar now for about 3 or 4 years, and I haven't used any more of it. And now I'm actually sizing the brush so that the hair doesn't fly all over the place. It's set in its place, and all you need is a little bit of water at the beginning of your painting session, and you've got it cleaned out, and it's just the best one in the world. Because there's no animal byproducts in it, you don't get any kind of rot or smell or anything like that. I've been using this for many years. I do recommend it. You would have to go to an Asian market to get it. I do believe some of my friends in the art material trade are going to be putting that in so that you can buy it from them as well. And there you have it. I put the ruby satin in it. I put black velvet in it. And I just want to show you that I also put natural hair in it. This is our Renaissance series, a beautiful round, and I'm going to put that in here as well. So I hope you've enjoyed your time together.
We've got some winners here.
Good for you.
All right, everybody. So let's give away some free stuff, huh?
Wow.
So first of all, we have this 4-piece set, and this is the SW1521, and this is going to Ira Lerguna.
Oh,
so send us a direct message here on Facebook, and we'll get your address from you, Ira. And then this is a 3-piece, the SW1520 set, and the winner there is Inga von Schuenberg. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, Inga, but please send us a direct message on Facebook to get that. And then the winner for the case is April Lutton. April Lutton. So April, please send us a direct message, and we will send you your case. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you all. And again, we're going to speak to you in less than 2 weeks, September 9th, Wednesday, September 9th at 12 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Any idea on our topic next time?
Well, I would like to show you some more new product that we're coming out with, and maybe some more tips and tricks, as well as some more shapes.
Terrific. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much for coming today. I love seeing you.